दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितनेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna devotees, please welcome to Bhagavatam class. Today I am speaking about Canto 3, text 26, chapter 26, text 60. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Let me recite this verse. प्रभावं पौरुषं प्राहुः कालं एके यतो भयम् अहङ्कारविमूढस्य कर्तु प्रकृतिं ईयुषः। प्रभावं पौरुषं प्राहुः कालं एके यतो भयम् अहङ्कारविमूढस्य कर्तुः प्रकृतिं ईयुषः। One more time. प्रभावं पौरुषं प्राहुः कालं एके यतो भयम् अहंकारविमूढस्य कर्तु प्रकृतिं ईयुषः। One second. Okay, Prabhavam, the influence, Paurusham, the supreme personality of Godhead, Rahu, they have said, Kalam, the time factor, Eke, some, Yataha, from which, Bhayam, fear, Ahankara Vimodasya, deluded by false ego, Kartahu, of the individual soul, Prakritim, material nature, Yushaha, having contacted. Translation: the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contacted material nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living entity's fear of death is due to his false ego of identifying with the body. Everyone is afraid of death. Actually, there is no death for spirit soul. But due to our absorption in the identification of body as self, the fear of death develops. It is also stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11-37, Bhayam Dvitiya Abhiniveshata Syat. Dvitiya refers to matter, which is beyond spirit. Matter is the secondary manifestation of spirit. Of matter is produced from spirit. Just as the material elements described are caused by the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Spirit, the body is also a product of the Spirit Soul. Therefore, the material body is called Dvitiya, or the second. One who is absorbed in this second element or second exhibition of the spirit is afraid of death. When one is fully convinced that he is not his body, there is no question of fearing death, since the spirit soul does not die. If the spirit soul engages in these spiritual activities of devotional service, he is completely freed from the platform of birth and death. His next position is complete spiritual freedom from the material body. The fear of death is the action of the Kala, or the time factor, which represents the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, time is destructive. Whatever is created is subject to destruction and dissolution, which is the action of time. Time is representation of the Lord, and it reminds us also that we must surrender unto the Lord. The Lord speaks to every conditioned soul as time. He says Bhagavad Gita that he says in Bhagavad Gita that if someone surrenders unto him, then there is no longer any problem of birth and death. He should therefore accept the time factor as Supreme Personality of Godhead, standing before us. This is further explained in the following verse. Okay. So, this verse is basically saying, Prabhavam Paurusham Prahu Kalam Eke Yato Bhayam. Here, Prabhupada is saying that, one second, this Zoom is blocking. Okay, so Prabhupada is saying that the Lord speaks to every conditioned soul as time, right? So Kala is the actually manifestation of God's power, specifically Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, we know from Bhagavad Gita that when Krishna shows his Vishwarupa to Arjuna, Arjuna was frightened, especially when he showed the Kala Rupa. Arjuna was frightened and he asked, "Oh Krishna, who are you?" So Krishna says, Kalosmi loka kshayakrit pravruddho lokan samahartum. Right? Kalosmi, I am Kala. Loka kshayakrit means, he says, I am here to destroy all the worlds. And lokan samahartum means, I have come here to destroy all people. So that's why, Prabhupada says time is a representation of the Lord. So the big picture here is everything that we create or acquire. It may be our body, it may be our possession, or it may be our relationship, is subject to destruction by time. So the fundamental characteristic of time is the destruction of everything. But we also heard from people that time heals everything, right? But actually, that is not true. For example, say that I am feeling depressed or hurt by someone. Over time, the feeling fades away. But it is not because I consciously work through it. Rather, the time slowly erased that feeling. It destroyed that emotion. It may seems like healing, but in reality, Kala has simply destroyed or suppressed that emotion. So that is why we feel that pain is healed, right? So this verse basically talks few things. Prabhavam Paurusham Prahu. The time influences everything. And Kalam Eke Yato Bhayam, why fear exists, and Ahankara Vimodasya, how our false ego causes problem. And also Srila Prabhupada very nicely says how we can become fearless by reconnecting with our real spiritual identity, right? So first we need to understand why we are always anxious. Prabhupada gives very nice Bhagavatam reference here. It's 11 to 37. Let me open that. It says, Bhayam Dvitiya Abhiniveshata Syad, Ishad Apetasya Viparyayo Smritihi. So, Dvitiya means it says in something seeming to be other than the Lord. Abhiniveshataha means because of absorption. So, as soon as we absorbed into something other than the Lord, as soon as we indulge into something which is other than Lord, bhayam arises, bhayam syad. So the fear arises. And apetasya means as soon as we turn away from Krishna, two things happen. First one is viparyo. So we fall into misidentification, thinking that, I'm not the spirit soul, I am this body. So that is the misidentification. And asmritihi, forgetfulness, thinking that, I'm eternal being. Forgetting I am eternal being, I am this body. That is the forgetfulness. So, what is the result of false identity? So, thinking that I am this body, as soon as we associate with this material element, every material element has expiry date, right? So, soul thinks that I am this body, I'm going to die, and fear arises. So, then we are constantly afraid of loss, pain, disease, and death, right? But actually, fear is not natural to the soul. It is result of forgetting God and identifying with the temporary. Um, Now we understood how fear arises. The next question is, how can we become fearless? For that, I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture, and he quotes a very good bhajan here. That is Bhajahure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charana Ravindare. I wish I were a good singer so I could sing this song. Anyways, so Abhaya Charana Ravinda means the lotus feet of the Lord are fearless shelter. So to be free from fear, danger, uncertainty, we should take shelter of Krishna's feet, because lotus feet of the Lord are fearless shelter. What does taking shelter mean? Living in Krishna consciousness, meaning remembering that He is my protector. And basically, we are, doing Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. As long as we do this, then we can say that, we are in Krishna consciousness. And if we are not in that, then we are taking shelter in bhayam. So as long as we are attached to matter, fear will follows. Um, Example is, just like a child holding parent's hand feels no fear, right? In the same way, the soul holding on to Krishna's feet walks without fear. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. So what is Brahma Bhuta? As soon as a person transcends all the three modes of material nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, we can call he is actually situated in Brahma Bhuta. Uh, so the soul realized in Brahman, the soul situated in the Brahma Bhuta, has no lamentation, no desire, no fear. So the thing is, we need to transcend three modes of material nature. So, so we understood that how fear arises and how to become fearless. It's not like we heard everything today. We know all these things, but still we can't do it because here this verse says, "Ahankara vimudasya kartuhu prakritim iyushaha." Basically, iyushaha means um, contacted, right? As soon as this soul comes into contact with Prakriti, this material nature, the soul gets deluded. Bhagavad Gita also says, I mean, Krishna says, Ahankara Vimodhatma Kartaham iti manyate. So, living being thinks that I am the doer because of false ego. But Prakriti, this material nature, is actually doing everything. Um, uh, for example, say if I am affected by fever, okay. The fevering condition is the master now. I'm not the master. I want to go out and enjoy, but still, because I have fever, fever has taken over me, right? It is saying that, I need to stay back and take rest. So now the feverish condition is the master, not me. In the same way, Prakriti is like a feverish condition. It is making us to act in a certain way, not exactly how the soul wants to act, right? So we act under the influence of modes of material nature and time. So when we forget our spiritual identity, we think we are in charge, but we are simply driven by the nature. Um, so how we understood that, how fear arises, how to become fearless. Still, we can't become fearless due to our guna. So how can I cleanse my guna? How can I get rid of anartha? So that is where, we'll start thinking how to cleanse our anartha. So Bhagavatam gives very nice words here. Uh, one second here, 1 to 17. Shrunvatam Sakatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto hi abhadrani Vidunoti Shrutam Satam. So sometime back, actually, I asked Guru Maharaj, do I need to identify all my anartha and then get rid of them? So he was saying that if you try to identify all your anartha, basically you are in the business of anartha removal. I mean, whole life you'll be doing the same thing. So that time he quoted this verse. So basically, it is one of my favorite verse. Um, as long as we do Shunvatam Sakatam Krishna, as long as we hear Krishna Katha and go deep into it, Hridayantasto hi abhadrani. Abhadrani means all the anarthas, misgivings, all these things who are deep rooted. Hridaya antasto hi abhadrani, or the deep rooted anarthas in the heart. Vidunoti Shrutam Satam. Shrutam Satam means he is actually erasing it. He is actually cleansing all these things. So my job is, this is my realization from this verse, that my business is to, you know, Shunvatam Sakatam Krishna. Uh, as long as I do this, Krishna, I mean, sincerely, Krishna's job is to, cleanse all my anarthas, right? I mean, probably you can also share your realization at the end. And also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says the same thing. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. As long as we are doing Krishna Sankirtana, um, chanting, it actually cleanses our heart, right? And also it cleanses Bhava Maha Davagni, right? So somewhere in Bhagavatam also quotes verse, I mean, on this. What is that? Aho bata swapacho to gariyan yad jivhagre vartate namatubhyam. So it says one who is from the dog eater family. If holy name is there on his tongue, Ejjivagre, meaning as long as the holy name is there in his tongue, on his tongue, he becomes Gariyan. I mean, he becomes worshipable. So, chanting has such a power. If we do it sincerely, then it can cleanse all our anartha, and we can get situated in the Brahmabhuta situation. I mean position, so that we can become fearless. Um, I think That's all I had for today. So my takeaway from this verse is Kala is Krishna's energy, and but the fear comes from forgetting Krishna and thinking we are this body, and Ahankara, the false ego, makes us think that I am the doer, but we are not. By Shrinotam Sakatam Krishna, by hearing Krishna Katha, we can cleanse all our anartha. That's what I understood from this verse. If anybody has any comments or realization, please go ahead and share. Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thanks for your takeaway message was like, I was also contemplating on the same message because I heard a class last week where the message was like, why the anxiety comes is like because we are revolving just around us. Oh, what will happen to me for this? Oh, this has to happen, that has to happen. Always we are in anxious, anxiety. So, when we take up the anxiety instead of us and turn towards Krishna, in the sense like, take up some responsibility for Krishna, then automatically our mind will be revolving, around, oh, okay, I need to do this for Krishna. Because all these years, at least for myself, I go and ask, what do you do for me, Krishna? Can you resolve this problem? Instead, when we slowly associate with devotees, and just go in front of Krishna and take the anxiousness for Krishna, what can I do for you, Krishna? Oh, this will be nice if I do this for you. Then automatically our personal anxiety will, fade. When I heard this class, that was like a big eye opener for me. Take responsibility for Krishna, or take the anxiety for Krishna instead of taking our own anxiety. In one way, our personal anxiety also reduces. That was very nice. I have been contemplating on this message, how I can do this. And today you were like telling why we are fearful, because we are forgetting Krishna. We are, finding ourselves in the bodily platform. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Very nice comments by Mataji also. Actually, that is the wonderful takeaway. And I like the comparison you gave with the jwaram, right? With the fever that we have. The Maya outside is also restricting us. That in the case, like if we fallen sick or something, we can do what we think, and bodily we have the restrictions. But this is like unknowingly happens. But the fever and other things, we know what is the temperature that we have, what is the diet that we have to take, and how to control. And if it is so severe, we have to go to the doctor, all those things. But this one, it is impossible to get a control and take the remedies, even if we know those points step by step, how the Srila Prabhupada's books are narrating how to control and come out of that. We don't feel that those are like medicines to our jara that we have inside. So.
Yes, Mataji, that's true. Actually, I heard this from Prabhupada, I just repeated.
Very nice example, Prabhuji. It is same, because that one we can see and we can know, but this one is unseeable. It is like a Maya, Mahamaya. So we are covered under that.
Yeah, that is very nice analogy. When I heard that first time, it's true, right? Fever is making us to do all those things which I don't like, right? In the same way, material nature is also directing us to do so many things which I don't like to do, right? That's why we are not able to do so many things, even after understanding superficially, right? Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Actually, yesterday I wanted to come to the Sunday feast Kada and everything, but my mother-in-law is there with me, and she said, "Let us go home." She got tired, and by that time, unwillingly I took the other road to the home, and that road got closed. Actually, I have to turn U-turn. There is some repairs. I told her, "You said not to go to Krishna. Look, the roads are closed, and now we have to go that side." So
you
sometimes
ended up
even
in
if we have. Yeah, even if we want to do something with other things, we are not able to.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Krishna Mataji.
Just a reflection, connecting the different things that you spoke and that Jyotirmaya Mataji spoke. The last few times that I was, when Maharaj was in town, he was speaking about this whole rasa, right? And so, so in this jaundiced condition or in the feverish condition, the sick condition, yes, we do things that we shouldn't be doing, but also we don't have taste for the things. You spoke about the Srinvata Svakata Krishna. We don't have taste for those things which will actually make us better. But yet, it is in my understanding from those lectures were that the rasa that happens, that is exchanged between Krishna and his devotees, it seems bitter to us. It doesn't taste good, but yet it is that taste when we keep doing it is what makes us from going from unwell to the well stage, the healthy stage. So anyway, I just thought I connected when you were speaking, those points came back to my mind, so I thought I'll share.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Actually, Prabhupada also addresses that, we don't have this taste, right? So he gives example of jaundice, when we have jaundice, we don't, sugar tastes bitter. So what is the medicine for that? How to revive our taste bud for sugar? We should eat sugar only, right? By keep eating sugar, it will revive the taste buds, right? So even though we don't have taste, we should still keep hearing more and more. So that will revive our taste. That's my takeaway from that. Thank you, Mataji, for your sharing. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaradha Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Why did you give me 4?